Hello, welcome
Hello.
to another episode of Digital Talk. Today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, but more specifically, we're going to talk about content creation with artificial intelligence. Not any kind of content, we're going to mostly talk about vertical video content creation. So all the way from the production process, so production, scripting, shooting plans, and how you can use ChatGPT to make that process better. All the way to detailed or more advanced processes such as image to video, text to video, video to video. We're going to look at a lot of examples. We're going to take a look at a few really cool artists that already produce content with AI. And then at 4 o'clock, we have a special guest coming, Aljaž.
Mesarec, with whom we'll talk about how to create SEO-optimized content for your website and social media channels.
Yeah, so basically, if you're looking to get a big overview at what is already possible to do with AI when it comes to creating content, if you are somebody that comes from creating content, especially for TikTok or vertical formats, then this is definitely the place you should be for the next hour and a half. In a day or two, we're going to send you all the links we're going to take a look at today. So if something sparks your ingenuity or something inspires you, you'll be able to take a look at it again, and also then explore the tools when it comes to creating stuff for yourself. And also, if there's like a project that you have in mind, just feel free to reach out to me or Aljaž or even to Peter. AI is here. It's moving faster than we are able to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And the faster we're going to be able to integrate it into our daily creation processes, the better it's going to be down the line, because the gap between being a creator with AI and being a creator without AI is widening very, very fast. Before we jump right in, Aljaž, anything from your end?
No, let's just dive in, because I'm keen to see what AI is capable of and how we can save much time in, I don't know, just daily tasks, and let's say, for example, creating a new video or editing existing one. So we prepared a couple of examples, so let's dive in. See.
Okay, so because I saw we promised people that we're going to talk about the production process and brainstorming as well, we're going to take about a maximum of 10 minutes to look at scripting and doing stuff about production in ChatGPT Plus, and then we're moving to video content creation right away. If you can look at the screen, this is kind of the rundown for today. So we're going to look at Runway Gen 1, Runway Gen 2, a couple of cool examples. So there's going to be a lot we're going to cover in a very short amount of time. So starting with scripting. So what I did here and what I can show again is, I'll start with ChatGPT 3.5. I'm using 3.5 just because it's faster, so we can do more in a short amount of time. So for example, I have a script which I took from a project we've already done with the Dunkin' Devils. I'm going to put it into ChatGPT, and I want the script to have a time code. So what I can do is I can just say add time code to script. I can paste the script below, and I will get a time-coded script, which is something that is usually takes a lot of time, and ChatGPT can do it very simply. As you can see, yeah, you can also it also estimates how long something will take. Okay. Now what I can do is I can represent in format, meaning it will now add from to. See, if this is the way that your DOPs or your video editors are used to doing, this is the way you can do it. Now, the brilliant thing is I can ask it, make the script shorter, right? And now it add time code. So now it made the script shorter, and it again added a time code. So now I have a 44-second version, and I have a 21-second version as well. Okay, since I see the script is in Slovenian, we're talking in English, I can set translate to English, add time code, bam. So I'm deliberately showing the way you can converse with ChatGPT as if you were conversing with a human. Of course, you can add all of those into one big prompt and just ask it everything straight out back, but you don't have to. Especially when you're starting out, you can play around like this. Now, the next thing you could do is you can say suggest video title. So given the script, it will now suggest a title. I can ask it suggest copy for post on TikTok, because this is a TikTok script, right? Make it shorter. Add more emojis. So it really is very intuitive, right?
And this is all without any prior input from your side?
No. So the only input from my side was the initial script. Which could, so I took a script that somebody already wrote. That's the only input that has gone in so far. I can also ask it to suggest improvement for the script. Right? So now I get actual improvements given ChatGPT's open knowledge on what kind of things I could do. Right? So the other things you can play out is sort of suggest a shooting plan, right? So now it is actually suggesting me a shooting plan, including shot lists and optional shots. See, again, and the input is the script. So as you can see, we've asked it to do other stuff in the meanwhile, but it still remembers everything that is in this one conversation, right? So what? Go ahead.
Let's see if it can give us a list of any additional equipment we can use.
Perfect.
Or need.
Perfect.
When shooting.
Great. See, what I often find is I actually thank the chatbot and I say thanks or great. You don't have to do that, but if you do say great or perfect, it is an input for it. Meaning, if you say perfect, that means you give it a positive signal.
Job well done.
Job well done. It will do more of the same kind in the future. So now, for example, great. Now, write
props
list. Put them in 2 columns. One is necessary. Second is optional. And just to show you another feature, and I present data in table format, right? So it's sort of, I'm not looking at what it's writing right now. I'm just showing you what's possible. And the other thing that we can also do, if you look at the whole production process, is you can also say, you can write, for example, write what a first AD should send to all crew before the shoot. So now we're actually getting an email, and if I present the time and the location, I can actually get an email. Of course, I can again translate it to Slovenian and so forth. So we started with a script. You can get a lot out of it. If I input 10 scripts, I can get the prop list for 10 scripts. So this is currently playing around with it. ChatGPT is interesting. The really cool thing is once you give it basic information in a Word or PDF format, so it already knows some stuff about you. But it might not be useful for everyday use right now, but it's only a matter of time before it's going to be integrated into Excel and other formats. And this is the way that one person can do a job of 3, or one person could do a job in a much shorter amount of time.
For example, Google Sheets already implemented ChatGPT into
a plugin.
its tool. Yeah. And for example, let's see what it took us like 10 minutes to do all of this. Imagine how much time you would need to
do it alone.
Yeah. Without AI.
Yeah. The other thing, since I see we are 10 minutes in, the other thing that we can do is just sort of, you can ask it. So you are a brainstorming machine. I'm giving it a very simple prompt at the moment. I will give you a topic. You will list all the crazy ideas you can think of. Ask me to provide the topic, right? So I'm now telling him how to act and who to be, and then I can provide, give me a topic.
Topic, we're brainstorming about mattresses, let's say, for example.
Beds and mattresses. Okay.
Great topic.
Yeah. See, so if you give it more details, it could work on the more details. But you can see, if you're brainstorming, you should always have somebody just supporting the brainstorming process with ChatGPT, because it gives creatives, just like we people bounce ideas off each other, you can now bounce ideas off him. And what you can say is, you can say, okay, give me more like example 8, right? And it will give you more examples that are similar to example number 8. That's the way that we are also using it, just to get ideas, because it just makes sense to have it there. And I think it's a good way of if you're somebody that works in the video production business, AI will not take your job tomorrow, but somebody that knows how to use this will take yours. They will just do a lot more in a much shorter amount of time. The way you get used to what you actually want, just play around with it. From my personal experience, is having the model GPT 3.5 Turbo that works that fast and paying for the Plus. I would suggest people that are in the industry to pay, because you can do more than this.
And just play around to see what works best for you.
And if you want to do more detailed work and you more human responses and contents, then you can also switch to GPT-4, which you cannot. You have a limited amount of things you can text per day. But what I do is I use 3.5, I explore with it, and then I take the best idea and I finalize them with 4. So as far as the pre-production process and text-based stuff, this is it for now, and we're continuing with Peter at 4 o'clock. But now we are going straight into content creation. So how to have AI actually make video content for you. So for the beginning, for everybody that's already seen this video, great, watch it again. For everybody that hasn't, I think it's a promo video for Runway Gen 1, but it just sort of shows the progression of AI in the past 6 months or so. So here we go.
It's not possible for anyone to turn their ideas into nothing but words.
Where's my full screen?
AI system is able to generate realistic images in generation and stable diffusion, further improved version of latent diffusion that causes sensitivity and mass adoption of computing. Today, he's excited to introduce the next step forward in generative AI, Gen 1, a video generation AI system that can generate video in any style, all while retaining quality and flexibility. Gen 1 is able to realistically and consistently apply the composition and style of an image or text prompt to the target video, allowing you to generate new video content using an existing video. We call this approach video to video, and we're incredibly excited to share a few early use cases. Stylization mode. Transfer the style of any image or prompt to every frame of your video. Storyboard mode. Turn mockups into fully stylized and animated renders. Mask mode. Isolate subjects in your video and modify them with simple text prompts. Render mode. Turn untextured renders into realistic outputs by applying an input image or prompt. And customization mode. Unleash the full power of Gen 1 by customizing the model for even higher fidelity results. Gen 1 represents a pivotal step forward in generative AI, one that brings us meaningfully closer to realizing the future of storytelling.
So, for example, after watching this video, you see how quickly AI industry evolves. Because go ahead.
Exactly. The video was posted. I mean, take a look. The video was posted 3 months ago. Oh, come on. So the video was posted 3 months ago. When the video was posted, this was not available to the public. And as we'll see in a couple of minutes, this tool is now fully operational, and I just made some cool content with it. So it's hard to believe how fast this is moving.
Same with Midjourney, for example. I still remember a year ago when we tested it, the final picture looked like, I don't know, a person who... like this, for example.
But it was a photo, right? And now we are in...
and now we created a virtual influencer, which is so realistic that it's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing,
so this industry is evolving so fast that nobody can keep up with.
And it's difficult to choose which part you will focus on. So I think what I found with our creatives at Duncan Dial Studios is that get one person to focus on one specific thing. I know your art director is focusing on Midjourney and in images as well. Perfect. We have 2 editors that are focusing only on Runway, and we have another 2 people that are like production managers that they're focusing what we covered in the beginning. Because knowing everything at the same time is impossible. I mean, you can be average at it, but you can't be the best. To stay with examples, so this is a video that it was created with Runway Gen 1, which we just watched before. It's still an explainer, but it shows a video in vertical format on TikTok, already posted with good results.
Video AI is here. That came from a video of myself and a picture of this fish in a suit. Runway invited me to play with their Gen 1 AI. This is the next step. Look, I even combined myself with this robot. That's pretty cool. Right now, it only does 3-second clips, but you can also upload a video and just put a text prompt. Cyberpunk robot speaking to a crowd. I took this quick video of my cat, combined it with this cat bot from a previous video, and it turned out eerily good. You can even tweak the depth blur level. This is essentially its creativity. It's 2 by default. This one is 4, and then this is 6. It's off the rails. For another test, I combined this AI-generated Game Boy with a dropping can. It created this cool Simpsons kind of style. At depth 6, it got pretty wacky, but I tried depth 7, and it's a fever dream. You can even have it get rid of the background, get rid of the foreground, or make a green screen. You are witnessing the future. Buckle up, things are about to get wild. Video AI is...
So... one thing that I'm noticing, and I'm like to know your opinion, is I have to learn how to think creatively, because often I'm not versed at getting ideas what I can do with this thing.
No, you need
because
to
it's most of the things that were usually you would pile them into the impossible pile or the too expensive pile are now here. And I think the only way of it is just sort of test project out and just make stuff.
Exactly.
So this is sort of like an explainer example. Then I have the next example. This is the explainer. So the next one is somebody taking, this is on YouTube Shorts. So again, we're at the vertical format. As you can see, it has 201,000 likes, so it has more than 2 million views. This is same concept, but taking it way further.
This is not real. This is a dream. Wake up.
Now, as far as I've read about this clip, I don't think this was done with Runway Gen 1. This was programmed and done with
Stability.ai.
Stability.ai or with just sort of multiple frames of stable diffusion and then diffusing one frame to another. And what you get is this surreal kind of looking motion when one thing warps into another. But I think it's a really interesting way of how you can, again, turn video and then make something else. So the technique, it's either image to video or prompt to video or like theme to video. So you're taking a video input and then you're adding something to it.
For example, if you don't know which prompt to use or how to give input to any AI tool, you can use ChatGPT to write a prompt for, let's say, Midjourney and similar tools. This is what our designers do. First, they use ChatGPT to write prompts, and then they enter these prompts into Midjourney, so it can generate them new ad creatives, new pictures, and so on.
Yeah, so it's combining the different tools is something that really works. The last video, I think one of the, in this like Gen 1 basics examples is the original and then the output. And as you can see here, I think the user used it in a way where you could create a cartoon and tell a story, but you do everything in your own house. I think that's a type of content that will definitely be big, because now people can make
in the future.
So you can write a cartoon script, and then you can use ChatGPT to storyboard it, and you can tell ChatGPT to storyboard it in a way where you are not in full screen, and you're kind of, you can teach ChatGPT to give you script examples which you can then use to shoot, and then use Runway Gen 1 to make a cartoon. You can see a guy. You can see how
powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I love this example because it just shows you that if you understand how the technology works and you understand what story you want to tell, so two things. One, you still need to be the one that knows what story to tell. You can use ChatGPT to be able, for you to be able to tell the story better or nicer, but you're telling a story. But you can tell your story and, you know, give it this Disney Pixar theme, or you can shoot it at home. No stop motion animation, no nothing. You use your phone and you use these tools. And I mean, even if you pay for Runway Gen 1, and this is, we're not getting paid either by Open or by our Runway Gen 1, is, you know, both tools together are, you know, $40 or 40 euros per month, which is, compared to the output, it's
how much time it can save you. And we all know how long is the process of creating a cartoon or animating anything. So just imagine how much time it can save us, I don't know, in order to create 1 minute long animated ad, for example. You just need to shoot yourself, and then the tool will do the rest. What we can see at Runway Gen 1 and similar tools is that currently it's still very good at creating content that does not look hyper-realistic, at least as far as video goes. So we have to, even if you're making content that is primarily realistic, one way of thought is, how do I make this, how can I complement it with adding story-like elements to it? And I think this next example shows this. I hope this is kind of an example of taking a, let's say, a classical, let's say, TikTok selfie concept and just rising it up a level, right? So I know
like, you know, when master chefs are talking to their contestants, they said it's good, but you know, what can you add as spice? This could, I think AI now could be used as spice to create stuff
To
like
add
this.
value.
To add
the
value,
video.
yeah, or just to add either ingenuity or the wow factor, right?
Get the punk, that's a must. I don't trust. Oh cool, okay, oh cool. And Tokyo, I'm with my goals. My shooters love, no Liverpool. And Tokyo, I'm with my.
So another segment where I think this style could become very popular is music video spots. So it's a matter of time before every artist has to drop an AI, a fully AI spot. It will just become something that's kind of a trend, and it will be who can add more value with it, right? So before we go to Runway Gen 2, this is how Runway Gen 1 looks in action. 3 months ago, it wasn't even live yet, the AI part of it. Now it's a fully functioning app, and you can play around with it just like you would with a normal like a normal app that you know, right? So for example, I'll show you a quick example of how you can do something like what we just watched. So I took the clip of the famous TikTok video of the guy working on ocean spray. So wait, I have to add the original clip, which is, where are you? Not to watch, export, upload. Maybe this one. See?
Now here you go again. You say you want your free.
So this is the original clip, right? So what we can do, we can interact with the clip in 3 ways. One, we can add an image to it and see what happens. So we can either use the preset images, for example, cyberpunk, and then we click preview styles, and the app will show us 4 different ways this image could be adapted to the clip, right? So this is about how the clip will look if we turn it into a video using this preset. And if we click generate, it will take a couple of minutes to generate, but it's very good that you can kind of see what you will get in advance, right? So the other option of interacting with it is you add a video. So I added an image of Darth Vader, so I can click Darth Vader and click preview styles and see how will the app use the image of Darth Vader to overlay it and create something new with this style. So as you can see, the interesting thing with Darth Vader is that it actually creates something that's more similar to Batman, but you can add another image of Darth Vader and see if it's better, right? So option 2, style reference, is presets, meaning that those are already stylistic presets that are in the app itself, which can get you good results if you're looking for a specific style, right? So this is, for example, Pet Digital, and if you go to, for example, storyboard, right? We click storyboard, we click preview, and you can get infinite amount of it with this preview without paying more. You can see I have 40 seconds of video left, meaning that then I will run out of tokens and I will have to add them, because most of the AI apps you pay per usage, because they have to pay per use onwards. And then the last way you can interact with it is prompt. So for example, you can say Japanese anime in Tokyo. Click preview styles. So now it's using the prompt as input to create something. And again, we get 3 examples of how that would look. So when you choose an example you like, you click generate and it will generate the video for you.
And the last one is quite realistic.
Yeah, as you can see, teeth are often a problem, as are parts where there are small kind of details. And mustaches and so on. So I've already done this before. So if I look at assets, I've already created 3 different full versions of this video in different styles, right? And the other cool thing is that Runway is a video editing tool by itself, meaning if I click project and I click test projects, I now have all of these assets together with a lot of non-AI tools inside my workspace, right? And what I did here is I put the original video at the bottom, and then I put 3 AI versions that I just generated before this podcast to show you what happens. So they are synced by the time code, only one has the audio on, and the other 3 are just there on top, and you get this.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? Which
I mean, for those of you that have been in the video space or editing space for at least a couple of years, it seemed almost impossible to do, and now it's here for, you know, a basic subscription fee. So it's sort of, if you get a tingling feeling of I want to try this out, we're gonna need AI empowered video editors, and we're gonna need, I mean, we're gonna need to hire them and development and so forth. But I really wanted to show this demo that you don't need to write a single line of code to get to this kind of content. But the funny thing is, this is now already almost in, it's already here, fully out, but Gen 2 is coming out. And Gen 2 is text to video, meaning that just like text to image is, turns text into an image, Gen 2 is turning text into actual video.
So if we compare it to ChatGPT, the first version and the latest version and Midjourney, we can expect significant changes.
Yep. So
in quality.
In quality and in what you can actually, what kind of output you can get, right? So, for example, this video is, we're going to look at it right now, but it's 1 month old. So 3 months ago, Gen 1 was something that they just came out with. 2 months later, we have Gen 2, which will be probably available for commercial use in a month or 2 at this speed. But this is going even further. So creating stuff without needing a source video in the first place.
Not too long ago, Runway pushed the boundaries of generative AI with Gen 1, a video-to-video model that allows you to use words and images to generate new videos out of existing ones. In the weeks since launching, the model has constantly gotten better. Better temporal consistency, better fidelity, better results. And as more and more people gained access, we unlocked entirely new use cases and displays of creativity. And today, we're excited to announce our biggest unlock yet: text to video with Gen 2. Now you can generate a video with nothing but words. No driving video, no input image. Gen 2 represents yet another major research milestone and another monumental step forward for generative AI. With Gen 2, anyone, anywhere can suddenly realize entire worlds, animations, stories, anything you can imagine. Gen 2, coming very soon to runwayml.com.
Yeah, so in the actual production process, I'm sure that we're going to be combining Gen 1 and Gen 2 and other tools. And as we'll see in the continuation of the talk, we'll look at Luka Maciek and Maciek Art, who is using numerous tools to get these like really crispy, clean results. So if you look at just a few Gen 2 examples, we're going to look at their Twitter feed. Or we're just going to open two of their links. If you follow them on Twitter, they're constantly posting videos. So this is already something that's been created.
Where do I start? Sorry. Sorry for being stupid enough to
Images
call,
plus
but
text to video.
thank you. Thank you for not answering. I don't think I could have survived the embarrassment. Just wanted to call and tell you, I don't know. Well, today's not the day. But one day, the entirety of our lives will be at our backs.
So you get the example. As I said, we'll send you all those links. It's a 2 and 20-minute long movie with an entire story and aesthetic. And this we have text travel, kind of. It's a word game, but all of this is text to video generated. Again, as you can see, you can tell a story, and you can tell a story very well.
So if we combine what we looked at the beginning, so use ChatGPT for script writing, then use the outcome from ChatGPT to use it in Gen
Yeah,
2.
so you can use ChatGPT or you can use BrightPen, as we will look at in a few minutes. So you use AI to generate a script. You can then use AI to help you figure out what AI tools to use to make the script come to life. You shoot some stuff and turn them into video. You text to video generate some stuff. But like a really good director in 1 week can output an entire cartoon without a team.
Definitely.
And that's what's so mind-boggling. We're looking at the creative side. We're not going to talk about what that means and how. We're not going to go into the details of deepfakes and all that stuff. But it's like from the creative's point of view, it's just crazy. Okay, a few famous examples. I don't think this was not done with Gen 2. It was done with another text-to-video software. Which is, I think, a bit more basic, but this went totally viral, and it was a video created by a prompt saying Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. Uncle Phil, come try this. Fresh pasta of Bel Air.
So it's you can't not notice it. In a way, it's disgusting or just weird, and of course, image rights, right? So who did the model owners have the rights to train on Will Smith, and who's going to pay him? Should anybody pay him, and so forth. And then we have two other sort of example of what's possible. One is definitely this. I think I saw this yesterday.
This went viral yesterday.
Yesterday? Yeah. So this is another, so it's an example of what we've been talking about, is using multiple kind of layers of AI technology to create something that you couldn't create before. So it's sort of, they created an AI model of Musk and an AI model of Jobs. I'm not saying created, just sort of kind of trained the models to respond like them. They took Steve's voice and cloned it, so Steve can talk. They designed both of them in a virtual influencer form, like we talked about in the previous dtalk. And they now have them talk together with trying to represent human-like emotion.
Before we take a look at it, imagine, can we use this in music or film industry to revive, let's say, for example, Michael Jackson and put him on the stage again?
Yeah.
I think somebody's gonna definitely do this in the near future.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be Michael Jackson. There's a page. It's not art yet, but you can talk to Super Mario, or you can talk to Elon Musk. Yeah. So it's an AI that's trained on, and you can get responses.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, just sticking to the video part today, just take, again, I'll show a 30-second sample and then you can watch the whole thing when you send you the links.
Elon, how have you been lately? Your call quality seems to be not very good, and you're also drifting around.
Hang in there, Steve. I can't use FaceTime here. Did you know that AI Talk is making me talk to you about artificial intelligence? This show really loves self-deprecation. So, Steve, what do you think about artificial intelligence? I believe it could be humanity's biggest existential threat. Just imagine the AI behind your Siri turning rogue.
Oh, come on, Elon. I know about your recent pessimistic attitude. I've always believed in blending technology with humanity. AI is just another tool for us to enhance our lives. Remember, it's humans who give Siri her purpose. Elon, have you ever considered that maybe your fears about AI are just a projection of your own ambitions? I mean, you're trying to colonize Mars and revolutionize transportation on Earth. Maybe you're just worried AI will beat you to it.
Give it up, Steve. When it comes to ambition, you were the one who came up with Siri early on. I can't help but think that if Siri had been a little more advanced, you might have called the iPhone the I know everything.
Oh.
And so on, but it's sort of a different format of, you know, something that, I mean, Hollywood could always do that, but now you can do it
on your own.
On your own, yeah, like on your couch. Okay, then we're not going to go into great detail about deep fakes, but I think we just have to at least show one video of using AI, using tools that are a bit different to what we've been watching now, but sort of actually deep faking people with the intention of actually make them look real, including the voice.
Fake video shows how terrifying AI is.
I am not Morgan Freeman. What you see is not real. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality.
This deepfake video
and that's something like Morgan Freeman in his voice, you even if you know he is not real or that it was generated, it looks real.
And this is really terrifying because people will probably use this to spread fake news around the world.
Yep, that is definitely a very short-term fear. But again, I mean, as you said, is you can now, if you look at solving problems with creative ideas, you can, example, now have, and you can imagine of creating a video with, I'm just thinking out loud, maybe you can create a video of your future grandsons that you don't have thanking you for doing something for the world now. Or you can have your great-grandfathers apologize for, you see, that you could actually bring people and faces back to life and create content with them. Again, you have to be wary of intellectual property. At this point, it's still, you know, you can do anything and nobody's probably going to go after you. But it's something that you need to definitely be wary of. But as I said, we need to develop a new way of thinking creatively. Sort of expand the borders of what we think is possible.
Definitely. Think outside the box.
Yeah. And then like explore outside the box. Okay. So before I show you the Last Stand AI movie, I will just show you these two things. So for deepfakes, one of the things that you can fake yourself, whatever you like, is you can faking your voice. Right? So 11 Labs is a really cool site. It has a voice lab. It has instant voice cloning. You add a voice. So for example, for myself, I added 3 very short voice samples. And then I actually can write stuff in English and it will
translate it to voice.
It will read them out as myself. So this is not the best model. And I can also sort of add how clear I want this to be and how stable I want it to be. So for example, I will maybe just delete this so it will be faster. Give me 1 sec. Oh, come on. So like this. So I now set it to the voice, for the voice to be very stable and very eloquent. So it might sound a bit robotic, but it will sound at least generally like me. So we go generate.
Let me tell you a story. Nathan Apodaca, better known as at 420 Dogface 208 on TikTok.
So it's close enough, right? But for example, if I set the stability to more variable, meaning it will add more randomness, just like when we're speaking out the back, we don't say words the same all the time, and make it a bit less clear, you get results that are even more realistic, for example, right? And then you can again play around with it until you get something that you like.
Let me tell you a story. Nathan Apodaca, better known as at 420 Dogface 208 on TikTok, posted this seemingly ordinary video of him skateboarding down a highway.
So the randomness factor makes it something is slow, something fast, in the middle I'm thinking, which again
sounds like human.
Sounds like, yeah.
This sounded like you.
Yeah. So that's something I wanted to show you. And then the other thing is Whisper is also a part of OpenAI. You still have to kind of code it to use it usually, but it is extremely good at voice to speech. So this, look, for example, listen to this example.
This is the Micro Machine Man presenting the most midget miniature motorcade of Micro Machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trim, precision paint jobs, plus incredible micro.
And then this is the transcript by the model, and I've tested around with it, and it works really, really well. The thing is that it's from OpenAI, so I mean, if you want to know, this is kind of the way it does it, but the main thing is that it uses ChatGPT to figure out the meaning of what you're saying, and then because it now understands meaning of language, it can better write what was actually said. But without knowing any of that, Whisper AI is like a very, very good text-to-speech solution, and like tools like this meshed together make it possible that you can now speak, interact with ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT can speak like you. So that's something that, again, it opens up new layers of content creation. If you match that with virtual influencers, like we saw in the Steve Jobs example, you get loads and loads of options, right? So I will show you, this is a brilliant PR stunt. So it's a full 10-minute movie that's generated with AI. It was done by the director, by this director, and it was done as a PR stunt by, I think, Bright Pen. But you can see multiple layers of AI being used. Like, for example, at the beginning.
Houston, this is Radford. A fleet of massive alien spacecraft just appeared out of nowhere.
So the video was generated with AI, and now the sound is being cloned. So like Houston type sound is being cloned. But then what they did brilliantly is they used current real-world events, and then they cloned Biden and Putin, so you could see that it's recent, right? So it's not, you can see that it's not stock footage. Really, watch the whole video. I'm just showing you bits and snippets.
Effort to prevent Russia from making first contact with the extraterrestrials.
And let there be no doubt, the commitment of the United States to our NATO alliance and Article 5 is rock solid.
Footage resurfaced of 2 SpaceX rockets blasting off to space in an unannounced launch.
So again,
Witnesses believe they could be carrying
SpaceX.
delegates of the NATO allies who are tasked with communicating with the aliens.
A group of delegates representing Russia and its allies left off on board the Soyuz spacecraft on their way to make first contact with the extraterrestrials in orbit. President Vladimir Putin himself attended the launch and said that Russia will do everything with.
So it's a combination of AI-generated scripts, AI-generated voice, combined with real clips and I love the fact that it's in vertical format.
Yeah.
Because it's a PR stunt, and vertical on TikTok, on Reels, on Short, it's still what drives organic virality, right?
This video probably blew on social media.
Yeah, I mean, this post, which is not a Shorts post, it's a regular post on the page of the director, has almost 400k views, but it went viral all over TikTok. There was multiple copies of it, short parts of it, so it was crazy good. Before we look at, because we're talking about the movie, I wanted to show this thing that you just showed me before the conversation.
Yeah,
this is
basically, I discovered this tool yesterday.
Yeah.
So what it does is you just paste YouTube link or longer video link into the
So this is the
browser.
link that you posted, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a 9-minute Gary Vaynerchuk clip, right?
You
and what did the
you
tool
can
do?
put in half-minute video or anything you like. So the tool will basically split the video into couple of shorter movies, add captions to it directly on the video, and then because of the AI behind, it will tell you which part of the video is best to post it. So you will see the score next to each video.
This one, right?
What can you expect from it if you post it to social media? So this is something, for example, podcasters, YouTubers will much likely use because it will save
So for example, this
them a
clip,
lot of time.
And what I want to do is inspire two 14-year-old girls in Kansas City right now to build $1 billion company on having a bunch of employees hugging each other in the halls.
So this 30-second, this clip, including the captions, was auto-generated from a horizontal 9:16 clip.
Exactly. It
added
has
a score, and it is ready to download and post to TikTok, for example.
Yeah. It also
Or your
has
stories.
face recognition behind it, so it knows exactly where to put, where to split it into vertical format. And if you're not satisfied with the final result, you can still edit it.
And what I want to do is suffocate out all those other people and become the alpha of that entire world of people that are hoping and are desperate.
It's crazy. And you can like it. And so that's another tool that I just think it's so awesome, especially for vloggers and long-form content creators. So you can still create your long-form content, but then you can just create the vertical short-form content for PR, basically.
To use it on social media,
Instantly.
for example, and you suddenly have 30 pieces of new content out from just one video.
So for the last 7 minutes before Peter joins us, so Luka Maciek is a brilliant creator. We've been working with him for, I think, almost 8 years at Diddy Studios, and then even before Duncan Dial, some of the most epic clips we've done, he's shot them, and he has gone all into AI content creation. His vibe is, it's still about the story. And I think he brilliantly understands is how to find the story and then how to present it using different multi-layer AI techniques. So I'll just show you a couple examples of what he does. The first one, relatively basic compared to what he's doing now, is, again, you have to have an idea. He has the mindset of what we're talking about. He understands, he's a videographer and he's AI empowered, so he understands both. Right? So number one is, for example, this. Slovenian cities in human form generated with stable diffusion and then edited normally. Then we have Slovenian parliament. Similar idea. And then we can get to making a cartoon of the famous clip where Luka Doncic played video games.
Wait, really?
And we figured out that
is that your actual name,
he's
Donatello?
also one of the best here.
No.
You have any hobbies, Donatello?
Yeah, I play basketball.
Well, you go to a gym.
So as you can see, it's Luka Doncic drawn, and he's already animated, and his voice. I guess the voice is real, the soundtrack is real, but the animation goes over it. And then in the most recent videos, Luka is really good at taking, I mean, not cloning voices as we see before, but taking a voice model of a specific singer and then adding that to an existing audio WAV file. So we're now not doing text to speech, we're doing sound profile to existing audio, and then he's enhancing that with stable diffusion art that sometimes also moves, and it's just fucking amazing.
One wadny marzem rokiem z dreką. To nie wracam zarad sebe. Ambon zarad tvojih fanova. Sklepno dok je tvojom lotka. Uzemala mamila. U srtefek mjesecu preden digital dealer.
Hvis det bliver så knæver min måtte det stiver på vores kasse en kommenterer. Hvis det jævlig og kan formulation clear.
Så hot to stemmer travligt på sted ved du det besvin. At bereven, hvad fuck for det na politi.
No buen, med vi fæk, du så dig jo ind og klit ind. Genati u komado, men jeg må ikke i mener.
Then we have the example of this one. I love this one as well.
Moja, koliko pravici sva se ljubila moja. Mi se uistana ju ja vodila da. Skupaj eno sva.
So it's even, you know, taking the audio file, two voice models, and then again audio editing them together. And then I love this one as well because it actually, so it's a Rihanna cover of Lutka from Stars, but also the image that's generated is a Barbie doll, and it has a Rihanna head that's moved. So it's again, it communicates on so many levels.
Da večnost obleče.
And then we even have kind of like a mock-up idea for an app of how you could, you know, very soon be able to do this, like.
Go from
no DVD, no DVD, PlayStation Dream, sack a coach and shit the mouthpiece.
Play no fotoapparat, kan det bli klik, shows down in naked tweak, was your memo.
In Slovenia, I think that's the longest running audio ad that Damjan Jovic, a famous producer, did a long time ago. And then maybe the last one I can show you is this one. But then Luka also does other kinds of art. So for example, this is, I mean, these are kind of the most recent ones that he's posted, but this is also interesting, right?
The easiest way to get into the meditative state is to begin.
And it's probably a real audio file of Alan Watts. But see, again, this,
allow yourself to hear
the eyes were done
all
in
the sounds that
just
are going
classic
on
editing,
around
right?
Just
maybe
listen
just
to the
tell them
general
in
hum
which tool
and buzz
is
of
this
the world.
produced, do you know?
So I know that Luka has, I know that he does stable diffusion locally on his computer, but he doesn't like to go into details because he's still exploring. But from what I've been able to see from him, he uses between 12 and 15 different tools. So it's a combination of stable diffusion, regular editing, audio engineering. It just sort of, I love this content because it always goes from an idea. For each video, you know why it's done, but then on top of that, it's like technical mastery, right? So it's still, the human element is still what will get the story out there. AI is like a brand new toolbox. So it's 4 o'clock. I guess Peter will be joining us now.
Peter is already here.
Perfect. So
we just need to switch the
AirPods. Okay. Yeah, so we're just Peter will be joining us on Aljaž's computer, so we're just switching the AirPods to... I'm keeping my AirPod, and we're just switching the connection. So I am turning off my Bluetooth.
Hello.
Hi, Peter. Can you hear us?
Hello. I can hear you, yes.
Great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's the end of the workday, but yeah, having a great time. I was just listening to your what you were talking, and I see you're doing great stuff. My videos are already on Opus Clip, the tool that you were showing, and I'm getting ideas for what to snip out.
Perfect.
Great. We'll have a quick chat about now. We took a look with we took a look on ChatGPT at the beginning. How we can use it to generate scripts, and then so text to text, and then text to image or text to video. And now we will move on to the search engine optimization, because you're the expert of it.
Yeah, it seems that ChatGPT is the thing that is changing SEO in the same way as it is changing everything else, I believe.
You also have so course on Udemy, which is selling quite well. And my first question is actually how can ChatGPT and other AI tools help us to generate SEO optimized text or content for our website, or even social media channels, for example, because we know we can optimize even YouTube channel, TikTok channel, and so on.
So it's complicated, right? The first thing that I have to say is we have to be smart about using ChatGPT and other tools for SEO, and it's probably true that most people, or a lot of people, are not really smart about using it, right? So giving it, and that's probably what you talk about in the beginning, just giving it a query, asking it, can you prepare me a 1,000-word article about something, is a bad way of using any tool, right? So what we have to do is we have to go through the same steps that we normally go through when preparing content, the same SEO steps with keyword strategy, finding what are the keywords, what are the topics, what are the people that should be mentioned in the article, doing all of the research first, and thinking about how the article should be structured, thinking about what are all of the parts in the article that are not maybe only text, right? Or not just a wall of text. There may be tables in there. There may be numbering should be in there, right? When we prepare all of that in advance and then give all of that to ChatGPT, this is a good way of creating quality content, right? Because on one side, we probably think that Google can't really figure out which content is AI generated and which one isn't, right? Because no one can. There are tools out there that sort of give you a result, but that result is usually pretty bad, right? So it's usually wrong. But on the other hand, last year in the summer, Google rolled out something that they called the useful content update, right? And the idea of the useful content update is articles and content that is only rewritten from other articles that are on the internet or out there, right? Articles that don't have like hands-on experience with what they talk about. So articles that don't give you an additional value, something new, something that isn't already out there. Those articles are not really seen as quality content by Google, right? So it seems as if Google was getting ready, and maybe they even did, right, to people start to use ChatGPT and other content generation tools to just create as much content as possible, right? And Google has always been, we like quality content, we don't like content that is bad quality, and I think it's still staying with in the same way. It's just, it doesn't really matter if that is automatically generated or half automatically generated or humanly generated. If the content is not really useful and doesn't give any additional value to the person, It's just gonna rank it lower, right? So going back to this is how we have to think about our content when we start thinking about content, right? And of course we can use ChatGPT in all of those stages, right? We can use ChatGPT for looking for a niche, and then looking what is important in a niche, and looking specifically what is important in a niche, then finding keywords, then finding LSI keywords, then finding subtopics. We can do all of that, but we have to go step by step and ask all of those questions, ask ChatGPT all of those questions, get results, and then with that, ask it to give me an article, right? So we still have to do a lot of the work that we had to do previously.
So it's similar when briefing, before you briefed your company team to do the brainstorming and to prepare all the text. Now you need to brief ChatGPT in order to get the best results it can generate.
Yeah, if you are using content creators or someone from Udemy, from Upwork, or someone on Fiverr, if you give bad input, if you just tell them, create me 5 articles about growing trees, you're going to get bad content, right? And the same thing is here with ChatGPT. If you just ask it, you're going to get it. You're going to get a lot of free content, but it's really bad. So do the work first, then give great instructions. And not only, it's not only SEO instructions. There are other instructions that we always have to think about when we are creating content, like what is our voice and what is our brand and what is the history that we've done, right? And if I write the content myself, my personality comes out automatically. But if I want to get ChatGPT to prepare content for my website, I have to know what my brand is, what my tone of voice is. And if I give all of that to ChatGPT, then I'm going to get pretty good articles, right? One of the great ideas is always just to teach ChatGPT with examples first. Maybe take 5 of your blogs that you've already prepared, paste it in there, and then tell him, learn from that. Now give me an article that is written in the same way as those articles that I've given you, right?
Yeah, my question would be, do you mostly work in just ChatGPT plus the basic format and just have one chat open for each project? Or do you use like a secondary tool where you can give it 50 pages of documents for it to learn? Like what do you prefer at this current point in your work process?
So currently, I just believe that having one chat for one specific kind of task and just trying to learn to teach it and then keeping with it is probably the best workflow to do right now, right? We have to know that after some times and all of the queries that you give it, it's gonna start forgetting stuff, right? So we have to be careful about that. But I haven't really seen a very good outside tool that will allow you to do that, right? There are a couple of tools like Jasper, for example, that was an AI tool for SEO creation even before ChatGPT. It's now better because it works with ChatGPT. But it doesn't, for the price point, it doesn't really give you the results, right? One of the tricks that I've been using is using Chatbase is a tool that allows you to create your own ChatGPT with your own data, right? So it's mainly used it's meant to be used to just run your whole website through the tool, and then you can have like a support chatbot, right? But if I use my own content and give it all to the ChatGPT, to the Chatbase, to the tool, it's also a ChatGPT chat that I can then use to create that content, right? So if you have a lot of content, you can give it there and then get it back. It's a great way of doing it, but it's of course an additional tool that you have to use, a paid tool that you have to use next to ChatGPT, right? Sure. And it links to your API.
Yeah, that's great, because like one thing that we're exploring is we have a big database of scripts and videos and data that is sort of, we have a script, you have a video, and we have a lot of data of how the video performed, and we have thousands and thousands of examples in the database, and we're just currently taking small bits of it and sort of trying to figure out, one is like useful insights, and two is, okay, given like the 5 best clips that work in this specific example, what can you suggest to a content creator to do better next time? Yeah, I mean, currently the best way I've been able to do it is using Chatbase or ChatGPT and just a single kind of one chat per client, for example, or per like project. Yeah.
So, Peter, we talked about creating new content using ChatGPT and other tools, but what about optimizing existing content on website, on our social media? Is it doable, or
especially for SEO?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, especially for SEO, optimizing existing content and upgrading existing content is something that we've been focused on a lot also in the past, so manually, right? So using ChatGPT for that, it's a great thing. Number one, we can use it to analyze statistics or data, right? You can just take the content from Google Search Console, put it in there, or from Google Analytics, and try to get ideas from what content works, what doesn't work, stuff like that, right? But on the other hand, analyzing content and understanding what is missing in the content is a great thing that ChatGPT can do. I can put in there my article and just go, all right, what are the topics that I missed in this article, right? I can also ask it what are the LSI keywords that are missing. LSI keywords are words that are expected to be in the article, and also Google expects those words to be in article, right? It's an SEO strategy, and it can give me the results. But what we again mostly use it with is we use SEO tools that are able to analyze the content in an SEO way, and then take the instructions from the SEO tool like Surfer SEO or SEMrush on-page optimizer, take those instructions and then give it to ChatGPT with the article, right? So we give it the article, and then we say, Surfer said you have to add these keywords and make it more readable, and give more paragraphs. So again, ChatGPT is a tool that has to we have to do all of the SEO thinking, and we have to give it instructions from the SEO tools so that it provides the best content. What is tricky here is that ChatGPT, of course, pretends that he's very good at doing stuff, right? So, if you ask him what are the most important keywords, he's going to give you a list of keywords, but it may happen that those keywords, the intention is wrong, or there's no search volume for those keywords, right? So we still have to always go back to SEO tools, use these to figure out, to check the information that we got from ChatGPT, and then give it back to ChatGPT.
Yeah, I had the same example that you said. Is sort of, I was analyzing data, and like 90% of what it said was perfect and right on, but then 5% it just made up. Like, for example, it suggested that the videos would be that it suggests that videos should be between 12 and 15 seconds long, but it had no input data on the length, so it just gave like a generalized feeling based on what it feels or knows. So I often say it's like a teenager. A teenager will always tell you something, but you have to double check a teenager, right?
Yeah, he's a junior assistant, and you have to have very specific instructions for him or her, and you have to check everything you get from it. But next to that, getting a big structure, getting a big basis to work on, he's very good at that.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. So ChatGPT can often feed us with some unverified or made up information. So I wanted to ask you how we can avoid this, but you already told us that giving him as much information as possible, even if it's bits from different kind of tools, just so it can create a picture of, I don't know, your previous results and your goals, what you would like to do, and then it can produce you a quality piece of content.
Yeah, I just 2 hours ago, I had a lecture, ChatGPT as should be used by lawyers, right? And it's especially important in niches like that, where specific data or specific information is really important. It has to be really specific, like what specific law says or some rule or whatever, right? And whatever you ask it, it's going to tell you it's that article and that law from that year. But you can go and check that. It's just not true, right? So understanding where are the limits, what are the possible limits or usually limits, and then checking those limits. This is why it's important that we use it a lot, just to, to get the feel of what it does and where it goes wrong, and then always go and check. But the general idea is still that he is great at understanding big numbers of data or big parts of data, and it's able to help you with that data, right?
I have another sort of specific questions. I'm sure you're playing around with the 3.5 and the GPT-4 models. I'm kind of using 3.5 because it's fast, but then kind of find specific stuff that 4 does better, and kind of using those like 25 queries per 2 hours for it. So specifically, what is your experience on when the current 3.5 model gives you, when is it worth to use the slower model? In what kind of instances, if you have any hands-on experience on that?
I sort of feel, so first is the language. If you want to work in any other language that is not the biggest 5 languages, you should always go with ChatGPT-4. Especially in Slovenian, the number 4 is the only one that you should really be using, because otherwise it's pretty bad. And in other parts, if I want to create whatever that is going to go somewhere, or it should have real results, I sort of go back to ChatGPT 4.0 and just wait for it to happen. I know it's clumsy, and right now with the limitations, it's pretty bad. But I feel that the difference between 3.5 and the 4 is really big, right? So I do some preparations in the 3.5, but when I have everything ready, I just give it to 4.0 so that the final text that is created or content that is created is created from 4.0, because it makes the structure differently. It adds subheadings and all of that. It's much better and so much differently in 4.0. So we have to go and use it, and I hope that limits are going to get lifted, because it is a bit of a struggle. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to agree with you that agree with you. Like I find similar that like researching stuff and just playing around with it, 3.5 is great. When you're making an end product or developing in like the last 5 steps on an end product, there's a huge difference between both models. Another very technical question is how do you copy and paste the text out, including the formatting? Do you have any tricks, or it just sort of... Because I found that often I get some result in it, and then I can I use it to format something really well, and then when I export it, I have problems or like hassles that I don't want to have when I'm just sort of putting it into an end format like or PDF or an email and so forth. Any just very I know it's very technical here, but any tips or tricks here?
No, not yet. There are like Chrome plugins that help with that, but they're not really good. The new option of copy that is now in the tool helps sometimes, but very often you just have to manually redo it in WordPress or in Word or wherever you have to go. That is true. Yeah. Nothing we can do about that.
Any other questions we have?
I mean, I have a lot. Just don't want to...
Peter, maybe we should grab a coffee after this someday to chat about all the tools we can use.
I think we should.
Do you have any final thoughts, Peter, for our listeners?
I think, understanding that ChatGPT is, for now, and I think for a while, the way of how we are using ChatGPT right now is like the version 0.5, I believe, right? When it's going to be implemented in tools in a way like it is in Slack or other tools, right? Because we're waiting for Microsoft to include it into Office and Google and things like that. This is going to be the real way of using ChatGPT, right? I'm also waiting for SEO tools to do the same. They're also talking about that, right? If we have tools right now, if we have Surfer, that gives me all of the instructions of how I should change my content. It's, you know, the next logical stuff, it's just Surfer going, taking my content, changing it, and just giving it back to me, right? And linking to my WordPress. So, you know, these are the ways of how we should be thinking about how we are going to use that. And on the other hand, just using our own data and sending it to ChatGPT. These are the two ways of how we'll be using ChatGPT in the future. I believe that in the next 6 months, no one is going to go on, you know, chat.openai.com. We're all going to use it somewhere else, and all of the tools, you know, email marketing tools are going to have one click to create an email. So MailChimp is just going to have ChatGPT. So I think this is where we're going. And still the ideas of what are the limitations and what are the processes that we are learning right now are in the same way going to be valid when we use it in a different way. So, you know, this time to taking time now to understand and learn how to use it is the best way how we can invest into the future uses.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Peter.
From my end, thank you for your time. It'd be great to grab a coffee, but perfect. I'm sure that our users got a lot from from these 20 minutes. I mean, I'm just excited I'm always excited to share and learn from people that are exploring the same field. It's like we're all pioneers going somewhere, figuring out sort of where we want to get to. And the weather is changing all the time, so it's very exciting times on one hand, and on the other hand, you just know that you have to be fast on implementing the changes, because if you are not, somebody else will. And I mean, I will repeat something that I said at the beginning of the talk is, I mean, AI won't take your job, somebody using it will. So it's true. As you said very brilliantly at the end, is no matter how it's going to be integrated, having the skill set of knowing how to interact with an AI language model and understanding that it's a junior teen and it still has to grow up, that's really something that everybody that's listening to us should have in the back of their mind. And yeah, just go out and talk to it. Yeah, explore.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna go back and start watching your video from the beginning, because from the 5 minutes that I've seen before I got on, I got my better tool for the things that I use. So thank you for having me, and have a great day.
Thank you,
You
Peter.
too. Thank you for coming. Bye.
Okay, so we have several more minutes. We don't need to listen to ourselves speak anymore. To close off, so we are definitely going to be sending you the link to the live stream and all the examples in a format that you can access. I rather say Friday. It's not going to be tomorrow.
Friday or Monday, and list of the tools we mentioned.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll discover something new in the meantime.
Yeah. Maybe we can add some other tools. I mean, as you saw, is if there's anybody on the call that has, or on the live stream that has any like stuff that you would like to share that you've already explored, or something that you would just like to ask, is feel free to reach out at any time. There's a couple of like us that in the marketing industry that are in touch all the time, just bouncing ideas off each other.
Maybe if someone has a question, we can answer it now.
Oh yeah, that as well.
While we're still live.
That as well.
You can just type in the comment and we'll respond.
Of course, we can also do that now. And in the meanwhile, I just really want to, as always, thank all our partners. So especially alumni of the economic faculty of Ljubljana for hosting us here and giving us a place where we can share these insights with you, and then also to HTTP Pool and all the other partners that enable us to have these talks more frequently. It's just great to be able to be here every 4 or 5 weeks and share
the knowledge.
Yeah, because it's it's moving so fast that you have much more fresh stuff to share.
We could be having
yeah, we could have it
this talk each
every
week, and we will have plenty of new things to talk about. So it's definitely exciting times. Always happy to discover new tools, because I mean, I just opened TikTok or Instagram or LinkedIn and I see a list of new AI tools that can actually help us. Also, I don't know, meeting assistants that can write script of the whole meeting and give you next steps, what should be the next step. So this is also one that can be very handy.
One thing that we can actually do is, since we're having these talks in English, we can take this video, we can shoot it into the Opus clip tool, and then we can take, like, say, the top 3 clips for today, and then run them through Midjourney, and we can have us as a cartoon saying stuff. So that's something that we can definitely play around with, and maybe send you like a follow-up email next week just to sort of showcase these tools in actions. Also, do we have the exact date of the next DTalk?
It's in June, but I don't know the exact date.
Yeah, so it's definitely in June. The next one is again live. So it's going to be in-person guests. It's going to be for 3 hours. We know the topic, so the topic is going to be vertical video in business to business. Or like vertical video, and more specifically TikTok in business to business. So we're going to explore how to create content creation and marketing strategies for employer branding, for business-to-business marketing, for business-to-business marketing from Slovenia or Croatia or anywhere in the Adriatic region to, let's say, the US or other markets. So this is something that this business-to-business sector has not had a big revolution in vertical video, but it's a matter of time before it happens, one, and two, because we are early times, there are huge opportunities that are yet to be tapped. Because one thing is becoming very clear: in the entire Generation Z is now ending university school, or at least part of the generation is, meaning they are the people that are going to be, they're going to need to know all that we're talking about right now, and they are the experts that companies need to hire. And if you want to hire the best, you need to be present where they're present, and that's TikTok and Reels and Shorts. So that's why we feel, of course, we're going to mix some AI, we're going to have some practical stuff as well. I think no TikTok from now on, or DTalk from now on, will be without AI, but the theme that we're covering next time is business, vertical video and TikTok in business-to-business setting, and what opportunities are still untapped here. So, do we have any questions from the audience?
No.
No? Okay, good.
Then thank you for watching us. Next DTalk will be definitely interesting topic. So we'll send you all the details Friday or Monday, and until then, take care.
Yeah, perfect. Today we're 2 minutes early, so
on time.
On time. Enjoy yourselves. Be sure to check out the email that we'll send you on Friday, and click the links and subscribe to the tools and play around with the great stuff that we have literally at our fingertips every day for the past 6 months. So the future is bright. The future of content creation is definitely AI colored. So we're looking to, I want as much of you as possible to experiment with technology, because then we have more and more people that we can communicate with and create a community that actually creates projects that will change the world. So
definitely.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, take care, guys. Bye-bye.